Oh yeah, I'll at least do the usual. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR, Dayton, Ohio, student-run radio from the University of Dayton. We're fortunate because we're joined here in studio by Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme. They have a brand new record called Float, which we love to death, and we're just going to jump into a song.
Right. Hello, everybody. Hello. We're going to play One Long Day and Night.
Of the Nautical Theme here in the studio. They have a new record that we simply love called Float. Tell us about making the record, guys.
Sure. So we recorded it kind of starting in maybe, what, June of 2017?
Yeah, June. Yes.
And tracked it at my home studio, tongue-in-cheek, ready, set, go. And then we sent the tracks off to Micah over at Popside, and he did the mixing and kind of worked through that process with them a little bit.
And I had a baby in the middle of recording this record,
Wow.
so I recorded a bunch of stuff, you know, to prepare. So I recorded a bunch of stuff before, and then I went on like maternity leave, and then Matt took it from there. So
Yeah.
kind of a big deal.
The plan was that she was going to knock out all of her stuff, and then I was going to fill in the spaces while she was doing the baby thing, and I definitely didn't get it all done.
No.
No.
You were great,
But,
Matt. You were great.
But once she came back, we finished it up, and then, yeah, we worked with Micah, and then we worked with a guy named Jake Bryant with Platinum Audio. He did the mastering, and I'm pretty happy with the way it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR, Dayton, Ohio, student-run radio from the University of Dayton. I'm Dr. J. I'm your host for YTAA, along with my cohort Flower, who is here every Tuesday. She just holds down the fort. It's just how that works. So Matt and Tesha here from the Nautical Theme. You guys have a big release show coming up.
We do.
We do Saturday, April 21st, so this Saturday at 10 o'clock is when it starts, and we have the 1984 draft, and Kylie Downs, our friend Kylie Downs, is going to be joining us, and we're very excited about that. It's at Jimmy's Ladder 11 on Brown Street.
Yep.
Which is a great show because 84 Draft is getting ready to release a new record, and Kylene just released her new EP, Friends, which seems appropriate when you know Kylene.
Yeah, absolutely.
But of course comes from an element in the song, and so it goes. But
Right.
I'm also curious, do you guys plan on doing any touring with a young baby and with two families?
Yeah, so we kind of hit the regional stuff as much as we can. It's all weekend based.
Yeah.
We've got a couple good things lined up. We're playing the Yellow Spring Street Fair in June.
Oh, that's
we
cool.
have a gig in Finley at a really awesome listening room at Coffee and Michi.
Yep.
And then we have Dayton Porch Fest in August.
Yep.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in July?
Yeah, we have some.
We're playing on Avon Lake, the
Yeah.
summer market up on
Summer
Avon Lake.
Oh, that's cool.
I know, I'm excited. It's just a really big festival, so
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Can we convince you to play another song?
Absolutely.
Yes. We just have to figure out what we want to play.
Yeah.
Well, anything you want.
All right. You gonna do Sinking Fast since
Yes.
you wanted to do that
I
one?
love that
All right,
song.
let's do that. This one's called Sinking Fast. I'm sinking fast, I'm sinking deep. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I hold my breath, heaven hold me. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I'm sinking fast, I'm sinking deep. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I hold my breath, heaven hold me. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I'm sinking fast, I'm sinking deep. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I hold my breath, heaven hold me. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I'm sinking fast, I'm sinking deep. I don't know why I can't get on my feet. I hold my breath, heaven hold me. I don't know why I can't get on my feet.
Nice, very nice. Sinking Fast from the Nautical Theme. Matt and Tesha here in the studio. Have you guys always sang together? You blend so beautifully.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Were you small babies when you started?
Tesha and I have been playing music together for about 4 or 5 years.
it definitely was cool. Like, I was like, oh, we sound really good together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, just, it's good.
Yeah.
Now, did your singing start with the previous band?
That is
The two of you
correct.
together.
Yes, yeah. So we were playing, I was playing music with Justin and Smith. We were in a band called Simply Waiting together for a long time. And as that was kind of winding down, we were looking for another project, trying stuff out. And he said he knew this lady, Tesha, young Mrs.
Young
Girl. I
Mrs.
didn't want to say girl.
Woman?
It's like
Person?
that, person.
I know, like the feminism thing.
right.
I'm such a person
This person.
thing. I don't know. That's so bad.
Tesha, and he brought her to practice one day, and
Yeah.
just kind of clicked.
Yeah, it was really good. I remember I was like, this guy's an awesome songwriter. So it just really clicked. It was good.
I know we've talked before about your songwriting approach. Matt kind of works on lyrics and basic structure, and then you add some elements, Tesha, to it.
Yeah, so Matt's our main songwriter. I think sometimes I'll come with music that I've written. I'm like not good at writing lyrics at all. It's just not, it's not pretty. But I can sing a harmony. So like he does what he's good at, I do what I'm good at. And so like I write all the piano parts and I do my thing. And I think it makes something really awesome.
What's your favorite song on the record right now?
Good question. For me,
In case you don't know, they're looking at the back of the record right now.
I always forget what our songs are.
Yeah. I would probably pick either One Long Day and Night or Can't You Just. I like the way that one came out a lot. Those are probably my two. You asked for one, but I give you two.
What do you think, Tesha?
Like performing wise, I like to perform Have a Little Fun. Because we both get to sing on that one, and I feel like when we do that, like the room, like people actually like listen, like you know what I mean? Like it becomes less of like background noise, and people are like, oh, this is cool, and I really like performing One and More. I don't know, they're all fun, but it's probably my favorites.
Yeah.
Do you guys play any covers? I'm thinking with your harmonies that provides a lot of opportunity to have some fun with somebody else's songs.
Right.
We talked about doing TNT by AC/DC because the nautical theme is TNT, so we make a really pretty version of TNT Dynamite.
I like it right there.
I don't know.
You sure you haven't practiced that?
No.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that kind of thing that we talked about, we haven't done any covers. It hasn't really ever been something that I've done musically, so somebody would probably have to like push me in that direction.
Oh right, and I'm not implying
Yeah.
by any stretch of the imagination that you should.
Right.
I was just thinking that with the very nice harmonies you're able to get, that would give you the opportunity to do some interesting interpretations of some things.
Right. No, absolutely. I agree.
So
Yeah, if we were going to
after
do something, I think we would have to like completely sort of change it.
Yeah.
Like Tesha was
And
saying with TNT.
Real pretty.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
You know, a minor key on the keyboard.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it just hasn't really been we're just like writing these songs and just, doing our thing.
Right.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, but.
Sure.
So maybe if you request a song, Dr. J.
Oh no.
You know.
No pressure. No pressure. Well, I think you should redo TNT by AC/DC.
Oh, good
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's great.
If you're just now tuning in, you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative, and we are really fortunate to welcome Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme. They have a terrific new album, Float. Now I'm going to be really dumb here. I'm assuming that the title Float is tied to the theme of water, which is tied to the idea of the nautical theme. But I'm just curious, other than that, were there like other ideas that you were thinking, you call the record, like Water Bowie or something?
Yeah, I think I kind of picked it because, I mean, it can be positive or negative. Like it can be about sort of struggling, you're trying to float, or like you are able to float and you're kind of overcoming. So that ambiguity was kind of nice to me. And then obviously, like, yeah, with the
Water.
tie-in with the name, I think I was trying to be cute. I don't know if that pulled it off or not. Their water kind of comes up in the lyrics several times throughout the discs or the album.
Yeah, like when we chose our band name, it wasn't like a thing. Like, there's really no good story behind any of this. Like, you're like, how'd you get your name? We're like, it's not really that good.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that we've been writing a lot of songs that do have water themes, and I don't think that's like contrived at all. It's just like what was coming out. So it's pretty cool that it came out that way.
Yeah, even outside of this band, I think I've used water themes before. So something about water. I don't know.
It's providential. It's clandestine. I'm using words that I don't know.
Well, it's not like you named the record Waves.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could have been really obvious. This is our record, Water.
Water. Yeah.
So, could we convince you to do another song?
Yeah. Let's give me a second to tune up here with the capo. We'll have a little fun since you mentioned that one specifically. Let's do that one.
I think I have that on the station computer listed as the new song.
You do?
Yeah, that was the new song last time.
We had recently written it then.
But
we have some
beautiful
other
harmonies, beautiful harmonies.
Thank you. Yeah, we're writing new songs even now for the next album.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many are we into?
Just 2 so far.
Just 2.
But I think now that we've kind of like cleared the hurdle of getting the album put together and getting ready to do the big release, we'll probably start writing in earnest again. But those 2 that we wrote, like, I think we did them in one night, basically.
Sure. Yeah, we're playing them on Saturdays, so
yeah.
I'm excited.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nautical Theme.
The grass is getting brown beneath your feet. It always seems so green this side of the street. Just got to have it or you feel incomplete. The other side of the street, the restless don't sleep. All I Show you I'm not made of stone. And there are feelings you can learn to love, and all I needed was to have a little fun. Show you I'm not made of stone. And there are feelings that you can learn to love, and all you needed was to have a little fun. Go out, my soul's yes, and last night you would come on home, and I'm so sick of trying to leave. Can't you see it's pointless to me? So resistant, so resistant. If the truth is such a hard thing to hold, why you endlessly need to convince you? You can just bring all I needed was to have a little fun.
Oh, that's lovely. That is just lovely. Although it sounds like heartbreak,
That's
which is exactly what I love.
Right.
I know. I feel like most of our songs are like that. They're just. We always joke that we played on Valentine's Day, and we're like, let's have breakup stories, everyone, because that's what we do.
And then that gives you then more interesting ideas for future
Yes,
songs.
tell us your problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
So at the beginning of the concert, everybody gets like a piece of paper and a pencil, and
That's a
you
really great
collect.
idea.
Let's collect all of your breakup stories.
There you go.
Although I know a lot of music comes from varying emotions, I seem personally drawn to when things fall apart.
Mhm.
Right.
The deconstruction, you know, what happened to the glue, the love, the whatever that was holding people together, and how people so desperately try to put that back together forcibly, which doesn't normally work.
Yeah.
Right. No,
Either it's organic or it's not. Either it's
Right.
working or it's not.
yeah, we have a song that we played in the previous band, Colors, and that's kind of like thematically what that's about. It's like it talks about being sort of mundane at the beginning, and then it talks about how it's interesting. You get all your colors on the way down. So basically, like as things are falling apart, then there's all these different inputs, and that's when it starts gets interesting, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the Nautical Theme here in the studio. You're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR. Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme this Saturday, April 21st. They are playing with the 84 Draft and Kylene Downs. It's just a collection of all my friends in one place. I'm not quite sure how to feel about this, but you need to make plans to go. Do we know when doors open and
Yeah,
all
so
that stuff?
the music should start at 10, so try to get there 9:30. Or, you know, a little plug for Jimmy's. I mean, they have a great menu, so you can go do your dinner thing beforehand and hang out and then stay for the show.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So let's play a song. I was wondering, is there any theme across the songs? I don't notice myself a theme across them. Like So Long Dear couldn't have said One Long Day and Night, have a little fun, you just played. Is there any kind of a theme?
I mean, I guess like lyrically, they all kind of. I'm not a good storyteller outside of myself, so I don't kind of make up characters or anything like that. So they're all relatively personal. But there's stuff on here that's older. Like Jump Out of the Water, for instance, was about when my daughter was born, and she's turning 10 like next month.
Oh
so
my.
you know that one's been sticking around for a while. And then So Long Dear is like about like a teenage kind of moving on, or like like new college kind of moving on experience. So it sort of spans like at least a decade worth of content.
It sounds like deeply personal subject matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of like moments in people's lives.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's sort of just how I've always kind of written from.
Oh, always?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people connect with it. I mean, I definitely connect with it. I was like, man, this guy's a really good songwriter, and so I think people connect with that. I mean, just our hearts together, right?
Right, and usually, I guess, like, I don't know if I do it intentionally, but it's usually, like, somewhat ambiguous, so I guess that kind of leads it to being applicable to people, because they can kind of see themselves in it if it's not explicitly saying, like, you know, specific events that happened. So I think that kind of lends itself to applying to other people.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go ahead and play So Long Dear. So this is the college years.
Yeah, so this
Roughly
is,
speaking.
this is,
I didn't know that.
I think
How
it's
did you
it's
think
like
about this?
a summer love kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
like,
So,
right, yeah.
I'm learning things about my own songs.
Sounding okay to you?
Yeah.
Sounds all right to me.
Yeah.
I should warn you, we're still on Facebook Live,
All right.
and then there's the video over there, or at least I'm gonna loop around. Yep, everybody's going. I'm always mindful of I'm so trapped. Camera here, camera there. But the point is just to record some things.
Right.
I didn't we send links to stuff?
did.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was really
Is
great.
there anything you want with it?
That's great. We
Awesome.
used it.
Yep.
I know I did cut and paste the songs out of the whole interview so that we could then play those.
Right. That was like all we had on our Bandcamp for a long time.
It was just
Oh,
so
yay!
For those recordings. Yeah.
I'm just glad that it was useful in
Yeah.
some way.
It was so
Yeah,
useful.
absolutely.
Yeah, we were sending it out for like shows or like trying to get shows and everything. Like,
Hey,
okay.
anything we can do, right? The least we can do is to try to help out in some way.
Yeah.
I'm just always amazed every time I turn around. There's either a cool band that I knew about is releasing a great record, or someone that I never heard before. I come across, I'm like, how did I not know about this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Just
a lot of music.
A lot of music.
For I don't mean to sound in any way weird or ungrateful, but for a city the size of Dayton to have so much. See, what was Jump Out of the Water was the other one you mentioned.
Yeah.
It just, to complete the thought,
Sure.
It just struck me as really wonderful that the city of Dayton would produce so many terrific bands, over decades, right? I mean, you talk about the funk years, or even like back into the 30s and 40s,
Right.
when the venues were more like juke joints or
Yeah. Yeah.
things of that nature, which I didn't even know about until I started to get into Dayton music history.
Right.
But
Yeah.
apparently, there's been a thriving music scene since the 1930s.
That's cool.
That's crazy.
I know, isn't it?
That's really cool.
The 70s I knew. But yeah, there were singers and songwriters in the 1960s, and a lot of fair big name
Right.
folks came through in the
Right.
60s.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Over at the canal.
Yeah, well, I guess Canal has had a long
that was the
history.
80s, but
Yeah, well, I mean, 70s and 80s, you had, well, I guess you had the Night Owl back then.
Mhm.
Places that don't exist, a lot of
Right.
places don't exist anymore.
Right.
From the, of course, 30s and 40s, but then even like the 60s and 70s, some of those places aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
Which in of itself is still kind of sad, but also kind of cool that there's been that history.
Right.
So I guess I could be dumb and thinking, oh, how does the nautical theme come into that
Get
history?
into that.
Yeah, we're a part of that heritage.
I will not be dumb on air like that.
Please.
Let me ask you a bizarre question you can't possibly know the answer to.
Really, I don't know. I moved here like 5 years ago, and I'm like part of the scene now.
Now you've lived here much longer than
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
You were born and
How
raised
much, like-
roughly near here?
I was born in Pennsylvania, but we moved to
okay.
Ohio when I was like 4 or 5 or something. Oh no, I'm sorry, like 6. And yeah, I've been in the suburbs.
So not born, but pretty much raised in the area.
Yeah.
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 I lived in 3 different houses on Stewart Street actually. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, Stewart was probably a lot different back then. No?
Yeah, yeah.
No?
It was they were just building the ones like at the top of the hill, but there were houses there when we first moved in. Yeah, and so I rented 2 places, and my wife bought the 3rd place that we lived in too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny how much things change, and then also how things don't.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But of course, we should probably tell people, like the foolish people who can't get to Saturday's show, you know, how to buy the record, you know, all your social media and stuff like that.
Yep.
Any future shows beyond the 21st you want to plug? I know you talked about a few. Can I make you do that again?
Yeah, what's the next local one? Would be the Yellow Springs
Yeah, I think so.
on the June 9th. Yellow Springs Street Fair.
Yeah.
And we're always looking for bands to like play with, so if people are interested in booking with us, we're interested in that too.
Got it. Yeah, from the ones that you mentioned.
It's about 30 seconds.
We like to play out of town.
Yeah.
20 seconds. Potting up. The Nautical Theme here on WUDR. 2 songs from their terrific new album, Float. You heard So Long Dear, and just that last song. Is there anything you'd like to say about Jump into the Water, like you just mentioned?
Yeah, so I wrote it about the time that my daughter was being born. That was about 10 years ago. And I guess, like, and it's about water. We were talking about water earlier,
Right.
More in the amniotic sense, I suppose. And,
I'm not so sure Tesha's on board for that interpretation.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. And I guess I was just kind of thinking about songs for the album, and for some reason one night that one popped back into my head.
You guys had played it live, but you never recorded it.
Yeah, no, it had never shown up on an album or anything, and played it.
I think it was because like I was pregnant, so you're like, oh, because we were talking,
Right.
that's a baby, you were talking
Right.
about babies and stuff. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
But I was glad that we were able to do it.
Yeah, I got out the xylophone.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And that is a neat element in the
Mhm.
song.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if the way you hear the song has changed now that your daughter's so much older.
Maybe so, but it's kind of nice to think about it in the context in which I wrote it.
Oh,
Because,
sure.
Like we were talking about earlier, anybody that has kids, like, you know, they'll tell you the time flies by, and, you know, take advantage of the time that you have. Excuse me. And so it lets me kind of reflect back on the early time.
Well, we have the Nautical Theme. That was Matt talking about a song he wrote about his daughter. The song itself and the daughter are both now about 10 years old.
Yeah.
And Tesha here, who plays keyboards, she sings backup. She plays the xylophone. Well, you play several instruments, right? There's accordion, there's keyboards. Wasn't there a couple of other things you did as well on the record?
What else did we play? We did, you know, if you listen to our album, there's just a lot of harmonies. So most of the time we just have like 12 tracks of harmonies going on, and that was for Micah, you know, on pop side, he was like, you have too much going on.
Oh, he would tell you that?
He would be like, please tell us.
I think there was, like one instance in particular
like,
that was a little
"There's too much
challenging
going
for
on."
him, yeah.
Yeah, so. But
And that was good. It was nice to have
It's like
an
right
outside
outside.
opinion, you know, tell you that.
yeah.
Well, he's got a good ear.
He does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we trust you, Micah. Please tell us.
Well, I mean, you know, it's also hard for you to, when you're in that creative moment and you're trying to work on this, you want to make it as good as you can,
Right.
Yeah.
right? You know, I think a good producer, it's okay if they come along and say, she's fine.
Yeah, right. No,
You don't need to add anything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like, you know, when we get into the recording stage, like, you can't obviously multi-track yourself live vocally.
Yeah,
So
right,
like for us, since we both love to sing so much, like we get in there, oh yeah, let's add like these 12 layers in here.
Yeah, and then like on Singing Fast, you had like these tracks of like snapping, you're like smacking your thigh.
Yeah,
Mike was
'cause
probably like, what is this?
I had probably 10 percussive tracks with
Of just like
snapping, clapping, smacking my thigh.
different
I
parts of your
forget
thigh, your knee, like.
Well, each one's going to produce a different
A
sound
different sound,
texture.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Singing Fast turned out really good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he said it to me. I was like on maternity leave or whatever. He said it to me. I was like, Matt had a lot of fun.
Yep.
Well, I'm just curious. I see a lot of, or I hear a lot of percussive elements in the songs.
Mhm.
Have you thought about adding more drums or bringing in a drummer to the band?
We toyed with it a little bit early on.
Yeah.
And there are occasions where I will step on a tambourine.
Yeah, we've tried the toe tam.
Yeah.
But
I guess
thought didn't you do something like that at Sideshow?
yeah, I think I may have. I think I
like
may
a
have,
song
yeah.
or two.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I guess we just like the fact that it's so easy, just the two of us, as far as logistics go. So we were a little hesitant to
We thought
put
about-
anything else in the mix.
Oh, sure.
Like if we wanted somebody, just like hire them for like a gig or something. But yeah, it's one of those things. We came from like a 6-piece band that like juggling all this.
Yeah.
Maybe we kind of had like PTSD about like other
Right.
like other people's schedules.
Yeah, that had to be nightmarish trying to just arrange rehearsal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It was a lot to manage, and not that we didn't like playing with
Yeah,
other
I
people.
loved playing with them. It was so good.
But yeah.
Oh, I just think the logistics had to be awful.
Yeah.
The people were lovely, I'm
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
But trying to figure out, like, okay, everybody's schedules,
Yeah.
trying to figure out rehearsal and such.
Right.
So this Saturday you can see the Nautical Theme. It's their CD release. Float is out, and I suppose I could make some bad metaphor about it is floating away. And into your stereos at home or your cars. You should get it. You should listen to it. I've been listening to it for a while now, and I love every song. And they did not pay me to say that. It is true. I really do. I love your music very much.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
So if you cannot foolishly get to the show on Saturday, what are your websites or social media so that people can get the music?
So nauticaltheme.com has links to all our social stuff, but we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Bandcamp, you can buy the album there digitally starting Friday. It'll be on iTunes and Amazon and all the normal digital platforms. And like you mentioned, we do have hard copies that we'll have on Saturday as well.
Mhm.
And I know there's a debate about T-shirts and T-shirt colors
Yes.
and images. So will there be T-shirts?
There will be T-shirts.
We got that worked out.
Yes, the top 2 vote getters on
Like Matt
on
made an
Facebook.
Excel sheet with like all the votes and everything. He's like, which are the best? Matt's he's very organized. So
I think that's necessary.
an Excel sheet for T-shirt colors is so good.
But that way you know what the top vote getter was.
Yeah,
Exactly.
wait, what was it? Green?
So we get the green and the indigo blue.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, that was mine as well. I think I voted for the blue.
Yeah.
Not that you hit. I hope I didn't sway anything. but-
It's because you voted that we got that one.
Right.
See, that's frightening. No human being should have that much power. Can we get another song from you?
Sure.
Yeah.
I
Since,
changed. I wanted more. You want to do instead?
Yep.
Is that all right?
This one's called Wanted More.
All right. Ready? Not sure if you'll remember. I'd like to forget our memories are faulty, chemicals at best.
amazing.
Thank you.
That was so good. That was so good.
Thank you.
You're listening to Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme. They have a CD release for their album Float. This Saturday, Jimmy's Ladder 11 with the 84 draft and Kylene Downs. And then you've got some other shows you were talking about coming up in the near future.
Yeah, so I guess our next shows are in June. June 2nd, we're playing at Coffee Amici in Findlay, Ohio. So for those listeners for your Tuesday afternoon alternative up in Findlay, we'll be there on June 2nd.
Yep.
June 9th, we're at the Yellow Springs Street Fair in Yellow Springs. July, we're playing at the Summer Market on Avon Lake up on Lake Erie. And then Porch Fest in August. Can't remember the date of that, 25th?
Yeah, I think that might be right. I know that they're kind of working on the total complete lineup there. It's a pretty cool event. It happens over at St. Anne's Hill, and people are just kind of bringing their music to
They let you play
to
on
the
people's
community.
porches. It's awesome. And also we're booking shows, so if you want to play, hit us up. We'd love to play with you.
How can someone reach out to you?
Usually the Facebook page is kind of the main way.
Probably
If
the
you're
easiest
into
way.
like giving us and Mark Zuckerberg your data, or we
At this point, can we really avoid it?
yeah, exactly.
Truly.
And the email, the
We have
website.
band at thenauticaltheme.com. We have thenauticaltheme@gmail.com. Facebook probably is the best way.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a Twitter account?
We do, and we use that occasionally. I think you're one of the 5 people that occasionally like our tweets.
A humble DJ does what he can.
Instagram too, right?
Yeah, Instagram too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always a fun thing to do. That way, pictures at shows and things
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So you're listening to your Tuesday afternoon alternative here on WUDR, and many of you are listening. A big shout out to our friends in London who are listening. Seamus, thank you so much for calling in. It was a real pleasure to talk to you, my friend. We're going to give these guys a chance to catch their breath. We're going to run to a couple songs you may have already heard. Live, that is.
Yeah. Cool.
How are we doing? I didn't know what your time frame was. It is that always screws me up. 16:54, which is almost 5.
All right. Maybe.
Speaking of having kids and other
Right,
responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. My wife has texted me and asking if I can pick up my daughter from, let's see, that's dance.
So maybe do one more segment and then,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
like, we can also do a quick goodbye if you need to run out. I do not want to be presumptuous.
So I got to get her at 5:30.
Where at?
In Inglewood.
Oh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's easily a 20-minute from here.
Yeah.
We can come. Why don't we come in and say goodbye?
If that's not a big deal.
Oh no, my friend, no. You've already been here for over an hour. I'm not complaining.
No, well, thank you for letting us.
Yeah.
be here.
Oh,
Thanks for
no,
playing
thank
so
you
much
guys
of
for
the
coming
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
It's like nautical theme power hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've been recording for almost 50 minutes,
Okay.
which talk 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
and set up and stuff like that. I'm here whether I want to be or not until I do want to be here. I'm here until 6 o'clock, sometimes later.
We like it that you're here.
I do like
Yeah.
being here. Yeah. And that way, I can make sure, what's coming on after me? Oh, no. We need a local song in there.
Yeah.
I have been known to change that. And I will admit that on Facebook Live that I program local music even when it's not this show. Some people have asked, it's funny, the show after you sounded a lot like yours. Well,
Yeah, you're like, well, had my influence, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, everybody loves great music. Yeah, honestly, how long have you guys been playing?
Like individually? Or?
Yeah. I know we talked about it a little bit last time you were here. I know you've been playing guitar for a long time.
Yeah, probably, I guess 20 years or
Something, yeah, you said something like that.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
family was really musical. So, I don't know, I was always singing in some church choir somewhere when I was little.
Sure.
So, and I went to college for music, so music is just kind of what I do. It's always happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to listen to. I feel weird. It's sort of like how if you don't drink enough water, or you feel weird because you're slightly dehydrated.
Right.
But I feel weird on a day that I don't listen to some music.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably listen.
Yeah, I don't listen to all
I think I absorb it, like, it makes me seem stupid, but like I think I feel it like too much sometimes.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Well, sometimes you need a break. I can respect that.
Right.
I'm not a performer, you know, so it's easy for me, you know. My wife will roll her eyes at me, like even in the morning.
Yeah.
She'll come down. I'm usually the one down there feeding the kitty cats and stuff like that.
Right.
And then she'll come down. And I'll have like Alexa playing anything from classical to jazz to like indie rock or electronica or something, and she'll be like, "You never come downstairs in the morning and just want like quiet." Why would I want that? You know, so I certainly respect,
Right.
you know, that sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
But I need all that sound to drown out all the voices in my head.
There you go.
No one ever says, you know, no, I don't see that in you. Everyone's like,
oh.
Yeah, right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, self-deprecating humor has gotten me very far in life.
Absolutely.
I think that's actually how I got married. And I am very appreciative of that. But no, do you want to do one more song or you just want to do the goodbyes and out? Because it's going to take 20-25 minutes. Why don't we just come in, say some goodbyes, run through the show thing again, and I'm happy with that if you are.
That's good with me. That's all right with you. Yeah. Cool.
It was up to me, I'd play for like 3 more hours, but I can't.
Well, after he picks up his daughter, no, okay.
Yeah,
then we'll be back.
There's no show after me. But Tracy, my wife, had the idea that, you know, after me should be Mrs. Dr. J's dance party. And I'm like, you know, normally she only does that in the summer.
That's awesome.
You know, it's kind of a little different vibe than when we go with the show. And I'm like, well, why not though?
That's awesome.
You know, she plays all kinds of interesting, you know, dance, electronic funk,
Yeah,
or just you know, kind of soul music that.
Right.
Well, I appreciate. I don't really think that's the format of what we're trying to do with this show.
Right. Right.
So she could come. Do you think she could DJ a party? Like
That's a good question.
Mrs. Dr. J.
And then she came up with that. I'm like, you could be you know, we were talking about how you present yourself earlier, right? You know, I'm like, you don't have to be Mrs. Dr. J. She's like, that's how everybody already knows me.
Yeah.
You know, all the students call her Mrs. Dr. J, who knows that she's connected to me. I'm like, well, that's not fair to you. You could have your own identity here.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny how people look at things like that.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh, Can't You Just? After we talk, I'll jump into Can't You Just.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you.
Talking chips.
And let's see, we have the educational license, so even after all these plays, the 1/100th of a penny that you get.
Yeah.
Wow, we're making money today.
Isn't it sad? I feel kind of embarrassed about that.
Hey, we don't do this for the money.
Right.
Okay, going here.
All right.
Nautical Theme here on your Tuesday afternoon alternative on WUDR, Dayton, Ohio, student-run radio at the University of Dayton. Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme are here and about ready to run out of the studio. I can't thank you guys enough for coming on in today.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We really do appreciate it.
We appreciate it, and just thank you for playing our music and just being awesome in the Dayton community.
You're way too nice.
Seriously, like, we really appreciate it.
Right.
Oh, it is my distinct pleasure. You, dear listener, can get a lot out of this. Saturday night at Jimmy's Ladder 11, you've got the Nautical Theme CD release. Bring the extra cash. I regularly get there early to enjoy a meal, right? Hang out, see your friends. Then you've got the Nautical Theme, the 1984 draft, Kylene Downs, 3 terrific bands. It's really more than worth your time. I'm a big fan of this record, so I cannot encourage you enough to go see that show on the 21st. And if you get a chance, you can't go to the show. It is sad. Your life is just ever so slightly diminished. But if you can't get to the show, you can easily buy it. We're all laughing at me here. You can easily buy it. You'll be fine, but you should go to the show if you can. Matt, Tesha, thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, thanks again.
So I'm about to play Can't You Just? Anything you want to say about that? I like the arrangement. It's a little different than the other songs on the record.
Yeah, this one was one that we started playing with Good Luck Here, and it just never caught on. But Matt and I were like holding on to it. I think of it as like the little engine that could. Like it just kept going, and then finally like we recorded it, and it's like we're like we love this song. We're so glad we kept with it when nobody else wanted to.
Exactly.
So that's kind of the story behind this one. The little engine that could.
Matt and Tesha of the Nautical Theme, thank you so much for coming in. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Really, it's awesome that you were willing to do this with us. And
Oh, no, happy to do it. I really do truly love the record.
Awesome.